तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्।
He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a siddha and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Meenakshi Mishra.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnavapurnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Aham Brahmasmi. So, good morning. So good to see you after a good hiatus of almost, we don't know how many weeks. So, I believe you people didn't miss us. I could see like Ujjwala ji, like Kirti missed us too much that he has scratched his head out, taken away some of his hair. Good. So I believe all are good. Kirti, Santosh ji, Ujjwala ji, Prabhu ji. I could see all these people from there. So I believe you people are doing good. And of course, we saw the video of Kirti, and he was a rock star out there. I didn't know, like, was it really from India? Okay, good. So as we are all here, so are we all set for this session today? Good. And Hariji, can you see like Alivaji has gotten younger today?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, good. So what should we begin? I have my own things to speak of, but if anything is specific with you people you want me to address, I also welcome that part. And if not, I start as usual, Ujjwala ji. We always start with a starter. And starters are good, especially when you are hungry. And for these many days you have been on a spiritual vacation, so I think you should be hungry by now to get some spiritual dosages. Good. So shall we begin, Santoshji, with our regular things? Good. So I have Sumaji, take a note of a new story because I'm not repeating any stories. So I think this story will set everything up. And also the hiatus that we have been through and the gap that was created might be filled with this. And this will again put back you on the track, might be on a fast moving one. So as I always speak of a story, so this story is set up around the time when Gautam Buddha was alive. And beautiful narration of the story, and majority or many of you might relate to that also. During the reign of Buddha, there were two friends, small little friends around, and they used to play together. One was very strong, the other was very weak. One was well built, the other was meek. One was well presentable, the other was not. Obviously, contradictory people became friends, quite opposite. However, whenever they played any game, always the person who was weak wins. So both of them, they come together, they play, and whenever they play any game, the strong one always fails. It doesn't matter what game they play. The weak one always wins. Now, as always in our lives also, we also go to a situation where we find like we are so confident, I can take it over. But suddenly somewhere a meek person appears and steals all the show away. When you thought like nothing can take away this from me, I should not be using a clumsy little fellow, but I can say a quite innocent appearing person appears and takes it away. Happened with anyone? हुआ है कभी? नहीं हुआ? No problem. Okay, so Priyanka ji is saying so true. That means he has gone through that somehow. So that was the case. But as always, all the strong people, they used to sit and you say like, how is it possible that this fellow is always winning? Not allowing me to win even a single time, whether it is a running race, a chess, or even a Ludo. Every kind of physical activity games, indoor games, outdoor games, any game they played, the weaker one always used to win. And this fellow always used to sit and think like, what is different in him that he is always winning? I am stronger than him. I look smarter than him also, but somehow he wins. But one very specific thing happens is, even though the other person wins, the stronger fellow never feels a grudge towards it. Because there is a beautiful innocence on that fellow's face that before starting the game, he is happy. Towards the end of the game, when he has won, he doesn't show up like, okay, I have won, I have taken over you or anything as such. He had that calmness and stability in his ways of presenting himself. So whenever this fellow looks at him after even losing, he looks at that fellow and he says, I don't know why I'm not feeling anything about him, but I just feel like so happy by seeing him also. But still, as we all want to win. Anyone wants to win, or all of us? See, obviously, it doesn't matter whether you are in a league or you are just sitting in your office, taking some paper rolls and throwing it into the dustbin. Even you want to win by throwing the paper balls into the dustbin. If you don't, if one falls out, you say, shit. I don't know why you love that word so much. There is no competition, but you sit there and you keep on throwing it. And one went, then yes, as if you have been awarded. And that's how we all are, right? We find our own ways to win. Because it's not our fault. We have been told since childhood that you are unique. You should be number one. You should be the topper. You should be this. You should be that. And we are no saints. We also tell the same thing to our kids. Yes or no? Why 97? Why not 3 marks more? We have forgotten our report cards. So now, this fellow still wants to win, and then he says, he tried everything. He did all the things that the other fellow did, but still he could not win. Then one fine day, he goes and sits by his side and says, can you please tell me what is your secret to win? And one typical thing that this fellow used to see is, before he starts any game, he just folds his hand and closes his eyes and just utters some words. Might be some magic words that makes him win. You know, in Tantric processes, we have Sthamban Kriyas, Uchchatan. If you do all those things, Mohini Prakriya, if you do all those things, the opposition will never be able to win over you. Interested? Kirti looks like that. He said, I'm not interested, I'm ready for that. So he did something, and then this fellow goes and asks him, what do you really do before starting that every time you are winning? Then his friend, the other person, he said, yeah, I just pray before I play. Do you pray before you play? You should. Then this fellow asked, like, okay, even if you are praying and you are winning every time, why don't you take that pride in winning? He said, because I'm not the winner. I prayed that you play, and when he plays and wins, why should I take the credit? Now look at this, a small little kid having that kind of wisdom. Just think of your kids at this age, they just go sit and start meditation and doing the right kind of prayers. You see, Ujjwala ji, there is on your cam, you can see there is a little girl called as, on the name of Alivaji, she is her daughter. You see? This one. See, she is sitting and listening to this. Her name is Arushi. And what meaning will it make, whatever I'm telling? But it's not about the meaning. It's about the seed that she is going to get out of this. Might be this small little seeds will fruiten in the upcoming future. So then he said, okay, so what is the mantra that you chant? You at least tell me that mantra and I will also start. And remember, this other fellow wanted that mantra because he wants to win. Yes or no? What was the reason? There was a particular reason. I also want to win, so I should know the mantra. And he asked, and the other fellow says, yes, this is the mantra that I speak. And the mantra was very simple. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Right? So Buddham Sharanam Gacchami means I go into your grace. मैं आपके शरण में आता हूं. I just go into your grace, in your space of your grace. And that's my mantra. And this fellow said, oh, if this one simple mantra is able to make him a winner forever, why can't I try that? And small little kid, you see, still not clouded by the worldly things, not critical thinking has not yet developed, because we have emphasized critical thinking so much, right, Ujjwala ji? You should have a critical thinking. You should always be solving complicated things. Hello, we only complicated. So he was not that complicated, but his small little desire was to win. Win in small little games. But when he started chanting this, he just sat there, and one fine day, just something happened to him. He just sat there. I said, let me find out how it works. He closes his eyes, sits down, and says, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Although it was not a full mantra. Because you know there is another statement to that. Dhyanam Sharanam Gacchami. But he didn't know. He only knew one part of it. And he continued that. You see, if you do it right away, let's see what impact it creates on you. Just close your eyes. Will not meditate. I will just recite this. And you also, if possible, recite within yourself or even with your mouth. It's up to you. Okay? And you see what kind of thing appears within ourselves. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Now we just chant it 3 times. But if you are really chanting it for a longer time, an amazing, peaceful cloud will burst on you. And just like you, he just listened to the voice of his friend and he started chanting just like you did on my words. And the more and more he chanted, he forgot why he started that chanting. Because his winning was the reason he started chanting, but while chanting, he even lost that there is a concept of winning. And as I said, it was a small little kid, not clouded too much, easy to clean up. And this simple cleaning process, he continued. Just a second. Yeah. And he continued whenever he got time. He didn't do anything else. Even to the extent he felt so happy while doing it. Even if he has 2 minutes time with him, he just closes his eyes, sits there and starts chanting. Continued day, night. To the extent he forgot that he used to go to play. He has to go to play and even he has to win, even to check whether his mantra is working or not. This happens very rarely. A condition so amazing if you reach into that space. It's so beautiful that you forget like, okay, what was my fight here? Because you are not focusing on your fight anymore. You are focusing on your happiness. When the winner has appeared within, whom do you go and prove? No one. And see, on that day, he continued this chanting throughout the day and night. And obviously, after a few days, it became like a ajapa jap to him. Ajapa jap means a jap that you don't do, it happens within you continuously. It might have happened, Santoshji, like at times you listen to a very catchy song, and when you are sleeping also that song is going on in your head. You wake up and the song is running in your head. Happened or not? That's kind of a ajapa jap, means it catch hold of your attention in such a way that you cannot get away of it. So that mantra became a ajapa jap for that kid. And that kid was slowly becoming very, very calm, quiet, and happy. One fine day, his father was a woodcutter. So one fine day, his father takes him to the forest. And while into the forest, they gather the wood. And while returning back, it was almost past noon. And they were also a bit hungry and needed some rest. So both the father and the son sat there, ate something, and they thought of resting for some time. And they, while resting, they fell asleep for a few hours. And by the time the father woke up, what he finds is they took a bullock cart on which the woods were there. Now, what he sees is 2 of the bullocks have gone somewhere. Other bullock carts were also passing, those 2 bullock carts also. Those 2 bullocks, the cart is there. The bullock have went. So the father knew that there are 2 gateways. One gate goes to one state and the other goes to the another. And as per his knowledge, these bulls must have gone into the nearby one. So he says to his son that you be here. I'm going to find the bull and I'll come back soon. The father goes into the other state where he can find the bull he found. But by the time he finds it, it is already night and the doors of that place has been closed. He is not allowed to come out. Now the father is sitting there and thinking, oh, my son is out there alone nearby the forest. And suddenly you see, when you panic, some other things also come into your mind. And in that state of panic, he was thinking, oh, it is not only jungle. I was actually sitting by the side of a cremation ground. What will happen to my son? What will happen to my son? The father was too worried. But the son, you know by his habit by now, what would he be doing? He just sat down there. He said, I didn't have anything to do. Father has gone. He will come sometime back. He sat down and started Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam. Kept quite happily. And in that moment, something magic happened to him. What was that magic? He was a poor guy, small little fellow. Might be didn't had a big enough house where he would have that kind of peace all around. People will be all around at that time. But here on this day, no one was around. It was a day of no moon. Slowly, it was getting dark, but he was not worried. Because all that he used to do is Buddham Saranam Gacchami, Buddham Saranam Gacchami. And he continued chanting. And in that moment, something blossomed within him. He was ready. No one was there to disturb. He found his calmness within himself. He continued chanting. And an amazing thing happened to him. He didn't know whether he was awake or asleep. Now, with us, there are two kinds of sleeps and there are two kinds of wakefulness. One is people who are awake but are sleeping. And there are other kind of people, those who are sleeping and yet awake. Anytime it has happened to anyone, that suddenly you are sitting in your office or doing some work at your home, and you're just looking at something and you don't know what you are doing in that moment. It just vanished. You just vanished somewhere without your knowledge. Can you see, even you are awake, but in that moment, you are not present in that space. You have transcended to a place where even you don't know how much time passed by. It might be a fraction of a second. It might be a few minutes. But where were you at that moment? You went into a higher conscious level where these mundane things of the world don't bother you anymore. You're wide awake. That is completely awakening in that moment. And there are other people, those who sit and then a little bit of my voice and suddenly their head drops. And just a second. And in that moment, and another wakefulness is when you are sleeping yet awake. Has anything such happened to you when you are sleeping in the night, but you know that you are sleeping? Happened or not? Pretty complicated thing, right? But very few days happens in that, like you are sleeping and you know, oh, I know I am sleeping. And even on that time, if you are dreaming also, you are not attached to the dream. You know that you are dreaming. That is also wakefulness. You are awake even while asleep. Right? So he awoke. He didn't know whether he was asleep or he was awake. But you cannot say it is awakefulness or it is dream or it is sleep. It's just like two things coming together, two beautiful things coming together, just like the day is ending, it's on the verge of ending, and the night is about to enter. What we call that? It's evening time, or might be the early morning hours when the night is about to give up and the day is about to arise. And can you see, like both the places, even the hottest of the sun looks so beautiful in that space, the dawn and the dusk. Even that harsh sun of the summer also looks beautiful during that time. That's the beauty of that space. When two things come together and match up and have a clear balance in it, the beauty appears, just like what we are trying to do, Ujjaladi. There is a worldly thing and there is a spiritual thing. Both are two different worlds. But when we bring them together, there would be a simple, beautiful space that will appear. That the harsh looking, appearing life will also have a balance in that, and in that you will find that beauty of life. That's what we are all trying here, right? And something just blossomed within him and all glowing up. But at the time, you remember, it is a dark night, and he was near the cremation grounds. And all old stories, have you heard about ghosts or not? Anybody met them? Yes? No? Okay. So you people don't talk to me. Good. It seems like I am the one. But Kirti, I want to emphasize one thing in this point. People question God, people don't question ghost. People believe more in ghosts than gods. Yes or no? You say, oh, there is God. Then you ask, where is God? Prove. But you say there is a ghost. Oh my God, I will not go there. So whom do you believe more? You believe more in ghosts. You know why you believe more in ghosts? Because you operate from a state of fear. Every decision that we take, we are taking it from a space of fear, not from a space of choice. Why do we do that? Why do we operate from fear? And many of the people go to the temple because God might take a grudge on me. Hello, I don't know any such God who takes grudge. Because even if he killed Ravan, he gave him moksha. He didn't say, why you stole my wife? Let me send you to, what do you call that? Nark. He didn't do that. Ram didn't say Ravan to go to hell. Even if he killed it, he gave him moksha. That's what God is, even because he is not here to take a grudge on us. So if you believe in ghosts, somebody came and asked me, Ujjwalaji, do you believe in God? I said, do you believe in ghosts? He said, yes. I said, yes. So, and it was as a dark night and some ghost appeared. And the ghost, while looking at this young, tender body, for them it's a feast, right? And many Draculas come to us, especially in India, there are more mosquitoes, I believe. The small little Draculas, they look at you and they say, wow, today is the best. It's going to be a gala time today. It's Christmas. So he was sitting and he was continuing to chant, but the ghosts were happy. Oh, wow. A food has appeared on the plate on its own. Home delivery, I believe. So when this ghosts were dancing around him, this little fellow who was sitting there, he was dancing within. Why? Because when he was not fearful, I said something blossomed within him. That happiness was dancing within him, dazzling within him. And he was so ecstatic. For some time, the ghost, what is the work of the ghost? It creates fear within you. Ghost is nothing but your fear. And what is fear? False emotions appearing real. Whose emotions? Your emotions. Is there really somebody standing there? No. Then what is happening? My emotion is making me feel that there is something outside which I should be fearful of. False emotions appearing real. But this fellow was not fearful. And he was so happy and excited. Now these people said, what is going on? He is not fearful. And if you are not fearful, a ghost cannot do anything to you. Can I share among the story, a little story of mine? When I was young, right, I went to the cremation grounds for learning certain processes at the age of 7.5, 8. That's the age I went there. Now, some of my friends used to ask me, are you not fearful when you go there? I said, why? Now we have heard stories about it. This appears, that appears. I said, yeah, they appear. What is the problem? Then why are you not fearful? I said, I should be fearful if I am alone. I see them dancing around me, so I have company. Why should I be fearful? When I look at them, I also feel like, oh, wow, these people are also available. So why you're not fearful? And when you are not fearful, they cannot do anything to you. They become your friends. What about life? Life also becomes fearful. It creates that kind of fear within you. But if you learn the art of accepting it, that you are dancing at your way, I'm dancing my way. The only problem is I am more powerful than you. You know why? You are only made of 3 elements. I am made of 5. You don't have the earth and water value with you. I have all the water and that 5 elements. I am out of 5 elements. You are 3 elements. I'm 2 elements powerful than you. What can you do to me? And that moment, those ghosts saw like nothing is happening to this fellow. And looking at him, they felt that, wow, there is something beautiful out there. Now you see, what could be a reason a ghost tries to contact or reach out to people? I don't know why I'm talking all this, but as the story goes, let me complete that. There is one specific reason why they appear. Specific reason is they are also trying to find a way out. And they are always trying to find a way out through someone who might be knowing it. And who knows it? The one who is free of them knows the path to it. So how will they test you? They test you by frightening you. If you are frightened, that means you are not ready. You cannot give me away. So that is one specific way why that happens. Now, while looking at him, they thought like, wow, if this fellow is not frightened, that means he knows something that we don't know. So what happened? He was sitting there like Adi Yogi and all the ghosts were sitting by his side. He became Bhutnath. Now, whom do we call as Bhutnath is Lord Shiva itself. And all these fellows were sitting by his side and chanting by his side, like looking at him, and he says, wow, this cute little face with so much of, I don't say glamour, I could say, I don't know, grace on his face, he might give us a chance to come out of the space. And this fellow continued chanting. These ghosts were so lost in his chanting that even they started chanting. And even without knowing, as they were chanting, one of them said, hey, 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 now he has become our guru. He said, how he became our guru? No, you see, he's chanting a mantra. We have taken the mantra from him and we are chanting, so we should give something to him. See, ghosts have ethics. You might have met with unethical human beings, but I have met with the most ethical ghosts. So what they decided is, let us bring some food for him. He has been sitting here for a long time. So what they do, they go into the palace. On the golden plate, every food is arrived and they bring it and put it in front of it. And says, hey Gurudev, ise khalo. Please accept our food. But he didn't thought like why they have brought it on a golden plate and what these people are doing. He didn't. He was hungry, so he ate it. See, he was a child. He ate it. And throughout the night he was sitting, and as the morning arrived, the ghost has to disappear. Ghosts are just like that. Ghosts appear in your darkness. But that's ignorance. But when the light of awakening appears into your life, all your ghosts disappear. All your problems disappear. All your worries, sorrows, and issues that you feel like trembling you always, they tremble in front of you. They fall down in front of you. So that awakening is very much required. It's an indication that in light, the ghosts disappear. In light, actually, your fears disappear. So as it was day, the ghosts disappear, but in the palace, the king has complained that my plate has gone somewhere. Go find out. Now all the people went that, okay, something has been stolen from the king. So let's go and find out. And lo and behold, it was the favorite thali of the king. So everybody in the was searching for it. Some people went out and they found that thali with this kid. But this kid is still sitting there quietly, continuing to chant, Buddham Saranam Gacchami, continuing. Then they catch hold of him and they said, "You thief." He said, "What thief?" He didn't bother. I said, "No, something happened to him. Something happened." He didn't bother. They pulled him. He continued to chant. He didn't know whether he was walking, being pushed, being pulled, being chained. He didn't know anything. The only thing that he knew was he was absolutely blissful and lost in that thought. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. And when he was taken to the court, even on his way, the father saw that my child is being pulled. And when he was about to call him his child, by looking at his face, he was able to know like something has changed in him. Something so amazing has happened. And then when he was taken to the king, at that time it was Bimbisar, who was also a follower of Buddha. And when he said, "Why you have stolen?" He said, I have not stolen anything. And he narrated the entire story. That I went there, my father went and he didn't came back. So I sat there and kept on chanting the mantra. And after that ghost appeared. I don't know whether you believe it or not. And I don't know whether I was sleeping or I was awake. But this is what happened. And it is said at that time, Bimbisar fell on the feet of that little kid. And then he gave him enough so that he lives his life doing what he is best at. What if I tell you I have actually told somebody else's story on name of somebody else? Is actually a story of someone else told in the name of Gautam Buddha. There was a small little kid who always used to fail. One day his father took him to the cremation grounds and left him at that moment. Many things appeared that he didn't give up. Even certain things happened because of which he was blamed. But he was not bothered because it was a place of awakening, a place where nothing bothered anything anymore. It didn't bother what people thought about him. It didn't bother like, shall I win? Shall I lose? Nothing bothered for him because a blossoming happened. And I believe that blossoming has happened in such a way that now that smell is reaching out there far in US, UK. Can you feel the smell? Because my dear friend, it was part my story. Although the mantra was different, although the location was different, but something happened. And that moment defined or redefined everything for me. And whenever I speak about that space, whenever I talk about that space, I'm smiling and crying at the same time. You remember, the day is about to end and the night is about to enter. And in that moment, nothing, absolutely nothing matters. I know what my entire work is here to take you to that place, push you to that place, throw you into that place, whatever, or even if possible, I will drag you into that place. Because I know if you go into that place once, You cannot tell it in words. But all of you should go through that at least once. And that once would be enough. But will you allow me? Will you walk with me? It's your choice. For me, Preetiji, I have lived my life in such ways that even defining it is very difficult for me now. But the only thing I can tell you is, by if you look at this fellow and you just sit with me, I can assure you one thing. If you just sit silently with me for 10 minutes, you will never be the same again who you are. And I can tell you by looking it into your eyes, not by looking here and there, because what I am, I am. Is it an advertisement, Ujjwala ji? Absolutely yes. Because even without advertisement, people are not ready to go to God. But you remember that kid wanted to learn all that because he wants to win. I'm also searching that kid within you. What is your thing that you want? And I just want that one little spark within you. And what I will do is, I will attach that to something that you become that other person, who is never ever bothered about any failure in their life. Winning are for those. I remember one thing, Revati ji, Krishna and Sakuni were playing. What do you call that game? How do you feel when you cannot speak? I feel exactly like that. That you know, but you cannot speak. You have been muted. So what you call it as the dice game or the pasa game or whatever you call it. Sakuni, always wins. But only whenever he plays with Krishna, he is defeated. Now, Sakuni and Krishna were playing one day and he asked Krishna, how are you winning always? Then Krishna said, because I am not playing. To win is the full statement. Krishna said, I am not playing to win. That's why I cannot fail. You are playing to win. That's why you are failing. If I have to repeat that in Hindi, it is something like this. कृष्ण कहते हैं, तुम जीतने के लिए खेलते हो इसीलिए हार जाते हो, मैं जीतने के लिए नहीं खेलता इसलिए जीत जाता हूं. So what about you? You are winning, you are playing the game of life to win, or you are just playing and you are winning? That's the beauty of life. Don't play to win, just play and your winning will be given to you. Now, how to play that? That's what we are talking here. How to play. Because we are taught so many things about the world, but how to be? Everybody speaks about that you are unique, you are unique, you are unique. But nobody tells you why you are unique. Everybody says you are special, special, special. Why? You are not special because you look different. You are not special because your handwriting is different than me. You are not special because your tea and my tea taste different. No. You are different because in this lifetime, you have an opportunity to find that divinity of your own. And if any kid asks, what is spirituality? Rajesh ji, I say one simple thing. I said, you see, when you are sleeping on your bed and dreaming, you don't know that you are sleeping on a bed. For me, spirituality is finding your bed, where you slept and you are dreaming this. And when you find that space, you also realize in that moment that, oh, I was sleeping and dreaming and I was so worried. So I have very typical ways of looking at it. Either spirituality for me is finding the womb of your mother again, or finding the place where you are sleeping and finding your bed. And in both the cases, you will awake. If you are in search of the womb of the mother, you realize that that was the moment when you had the maximum growth in your life without doing anything. Not even your mother knows what she did to make you grow. Any mother knows how you grew your child within you? No. So you don't know, the child doesn't know, but both of you are walking with faith that everything is going to be taken care of. Despite, just think of you being a baby and you are being caged in such a small little place. I have seen people, those who get frightened in closed doors, claustrophobic, right, Ujjwala? Yeah. So which people, those who are claustrophobic, even in a lift, they feel so suffocated. Now just think of how were you there in the womb of your mother then? You were not suffocated. You were growing. So even if life is throwing you into a place where you are feeling suffocated, don't create it as a hell. Create it as the womb of your mother. And believe that the mother nature, jo Adi Shakti hai, she is actually growing you within her. See, anyways, you have two choices. You can create a ghost out of your mind. You can create a God out of your mind. You are all powerful. And if a situation is such bad, which one will work better? Ushaji? Thinking like I am going through a turmoil or I am going through my growth phase. It's all your mind. And if I'm going through that, I'm not just going through that, I'm growing through that. Every single test that is given in your life, tests are not bad. Tests are a tool through which you realize that you have outgrown that study. You have learned your lessons. So in life is also testing you. Don't look at the tests, write it well, because that's how you will know that you have surpassed that. And more than that, Ujjwala ji, just tell me one thing. Let's say you are the teacher who is preparing the question paper. Okay? Will you give an easy question? Or will make sure that some tough questions are there so that you also upgrade your students, right? Or I'll just think of 10th mein sabko 1 plus 2 plus 3 is equal to. Everybody will graduate. But they don't do that, right? They keep strict procedures, strict points. Why? Because they know if you cross over this, you have attained something. And when life gives you that kind of tough tests, you see, the greater the degree, the tougher the test. And if life is taking too much of test on you, you are no more in kindergarten, know that. I'll tell you what are kindergarten tests. Today I was cycling, I fell down and I had in Hindi mein, Haribhai we call it chavanni ho gayi, means a small little wound on my leg now. Those are kindergarten tests. It will heal up. But you are in a life where you think like everything is against you. What kind of test are you writing? Might be an IS one. But can you have that kind of mindset in those kind of situations? Obviously you can, because you were not introduced to all these things. You never know how to deal with that. And and more than that, I'm not done with your questioning, Ujjwala. So you will create a tough question, right? Now you as a teacher, you have done your best to give the toughest of the question. And as a student, I have cracked it all. You gave me toughest of your question, which you thought are the toughest ones. but I cracked them all. Now tell me who is better. Because as a teacher, you will continue to stay there. I will grow to the next level. Life as a teacher will stay where it is, but you will outgrow it. And that's how, there is a song, na Kirti? That's how a superhero learns to fly. And that's how you grow your wings while falling. And that's how you become a hero in your life. And that's what spirituality does to you. That gives you that kind of boost, that kind of energy within you, that yes, even if you are falling, remember who you are. And with your remembrance, you will grow your wings while falling and you will fly. There was a teacher who took few of their students to the cliff of a mountain and then asked them, jump. Many backed up. Only one was there who jumped and he flew. Because a true teacher would not be one who is going to kill you. A true teacher is going to take you to a test which might look like a grueling process. But in that process, you will realize your own power, your own potential. I look at many things, and when I look, like people say, don't worry, I am there to take care of everything. We are not that. I don't want to be a stick, and I don't want you to be lame. We're not here to do that. And if one says that you close your eyes and I am going to take care of everything, you don't do anything, that teacher will lead you to blindness. So don't run behind those people. And that's why spirituality has gone drain. Because no one is ready to give you the path that you can become. Why can't you become that teacher? Now you ask me who my guru is. I don't know the name of my guru. I don't have one. People say, how can you become a guru without? And funny thing, Revati ji, someone came and asked me, how did you become a guru without a guru? I said, because I didn't went to someone to ask this question. Did you realize what I said? Even I didn't went to anyone to even ask this question, whether you can become a guru without a guru or not. I just became. Because each and every one of you, if I have done that, each and every one of you have that, and I want you to be that. So that tomorrow you should not be, I should not be taking that, oh, because of me. No, I don't want that. Who is there because of me? No one. I can say because of you, I am sitting here and talking. So greatness is not in the person who is speaking. The greatness is the people, those are sitting there and accepting his talks. My words might be indications. You see, every single day there is an indication. We wake up every single morning. Before we wake up, the birds are chirping. It's an indication. The nature is happy that you are waking up, but we don't understand. Before we wake up, the sun is rising, shining. He says, wake up with me, shine like me. But we don't understand. And we start it in the morning and in the night when I wake up, when I go into the starry sky, I look at that. I believe in one thing. I say, this is the fireworks that the nature is doing for me. It is celebrating me. Now just tell me, if I tell that, God will be angry with me? No, right? In the simplest of the things, but it is not a simple thing. Because the stars are shining because of you. The birds are singing because of you. We are sitting because of you. I am speaking because of you. What is your greatness? The only greatness you now have is you don't know it. What we are doing, we are scraping it off. And scraping is not an easy task. And it is a painful one as well. But we are trying to give some anesthetics as well. So we are adding some jokes, some humor to that, and then we are bringing some smile on your face. But at the same time, I'm telling you the harsh realities of life. And at the same time, we are creating that process of faith and belief within ourselves. So here, I would like to take few questions if you have any. If you don't have questions, I'm not going to close it. I'm going to tell you another story. No, I won't until you ask questions. How will I know whether the kids out there are understanding? मेरी कहानियां राजेश जी आप तो सुनते ही रह जाओगे. Sometimes I feel like Preeti ji, I feel like I'm the grandmother in the house. They keep on telling stories. And sometimes I go and watch in the mirror whether I'm looking like that one now, or have I really grown so old that people are asking only stories to me. Because I remember I used to go to run to my grandfather every night and say, okay, what story do you have today? And of course, majority of my stories come from him. Now you know my secret. You should have met that old fellow. Okay, so Preeti ji, Hari bhai, please help.
Yeah, Preeti ji, please understand.
Yeah, Manas ji, I have a very simple question. I mean, I have been attending all the sessions and it is something which really creates awareness. But in simple terms, what is spirituality? Is it reciting the mantras? Is it meditation? Or it is that state of understanding, having that gratitude? What is it exactly?
So what is exactly spirituality? The day, how to put that, because it is a very typical question which to answer in words is very difficult, but let me try that. Spirituality is an amalgamation of all that. Means all that things that you spoke of, whether reciting the mantras, whether doing meditation, whether doing chanting, whether doing mala, and all the worships that we do. Right? It's not about what we are doing. It's the ultimate goal that we want to reach. Now, first of all, let me ask you a question. What is spirituality for you? You remember that small little kid started reciting because he wanted to win. Why are you trying to walk on this path of spirituality? Let's see. Let's discover that. Because my story will be my story. If your story is there, you will understand it. Why you want to go into spirituality?
Honestly, I am confused. I mean, to start with, I feel that peace of mind is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And that I definitely get it from this. I am no more the same Preeti which I used to be before attending your sessions. Now I have a lot of awareness. I do not see a situation in the same way which I used to previously. Things don't disturb me so easily. I do really have some other perspective.
Yes.
So yeah, I think for me spirituality is that right now.
Absolutely. When you stop blaming somebody else for anything that happens to you, you take that responsibility. Means
Absolutely.
taking the responsibility means you becoming everything. You don't, as you rightly said, you start seeing things in a very different perspective. And I was telling something in the morning. Let me repeat that for the benefit of other people in the room. I was talking about Sri Aurobindo, right? His wife used to tell that all the problems that I see in the world, I don't fix it. All the problems that I see in the world, I don't fix it, but I go inside myself and find that what is wrong within me, and I fix that, because of which that is happening. And in my fixing this, that gets fixed. Spirituality is not looking outward. Spirituality is looking inward. Spirituality is realizing that you feel yourself to be bound in this body. Now just let me give you an analogy then, a very simple one, right? Let's say you take some water, you are at a seashore, and you took a bottle and you took some water out of the ocean or the sea that you are there, and you put the cap on it. Where did the water came from?
From the sea.
From the sea. The sea is big, huge, mighty or not?
Yes.
All powerful?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes. But the same water from that ocean, when you are putting it into the bottle, is it the same powerful? You have removed it from its source. You have removed that from its source, and now you have bottled it into a small little place. Although it is coming from the same source, it doesn't have that kind of power and might. Yes or no? But if I do one thing, Ritiji, I open up the bottle cap again and I pour it back into the sea, what will happen?
It will again become powerful.
This is what
Mixed with the
spirituality is
source.
for me. You are the source of everything, but bottled in this body. And I'm just trying to open that and pour it back, and you will realize that what you are. And many a times, Preetiji, what happens to many people is they are bottled and they are swimming on the ocean. Have you seen bottled thrown into the water? Inside that there is water, but due to the bottle, they are not able to become the ocean. And that's what is happening in this world. All of us have that potential. All of us are that mighty ocean. But what we do feel? We are bottled. And even though we are floating across it, we don't feel it. We don't see it. We don't become one with it. The only simple thing that is required to unbottle it. And for me, spirituality is unbottling you from that bottle and making you find who you truly are. And in that, you find not only your own self, you find your might. Because there are situations in our life where we don't feel like we have enough power.
Yeah.
But if you are connected to your source, if you are that mighty ocean, then what? And ultimately, what is the rush? What is the run towards? The ultimate run is going back home. You remember I said, finding the bed where you were sleeping, realizing that part. Because we have gone through so many things in life, we feel like this is reality. Exactly. You feel weak just like bottled water. And the day the water becomes the ocean, can it tell what has happened to it?
No.
That is spirituality. And when you ask me what spirituality could be, again, another analogy will be, there was a beautiful doll like you, made out of salt, went into the ocean to find the depth of that ocean. What happened? It became the ocean. So whoever goes and starts searching for the depth of how depth is spirituality, what is spirituality, truly, Preetiji, you cannot utter that word because you cannot express that through word. You just become that. Once that salt has become the ocean, can it find itself anymore?
No.
But in its losing, it gains the entire ocean. In your losing of this body, as a human only, you become the divinity. And we don't want more humans on this planet anymore. We need some divine beings, those who can guide these humans to the right path. Or else humans are falling, degrading beyond what they were created for. And what else could we do For me, spirituality, Preetiji, is if I can bring a smile on the face of Arushi, that is spirituality for me. If I can awake a ray of hope within you, that's spirituality for me. If I helped you to come out of a space, that's spirituality for me. In any way, my story, if you remember someday and that story was able to help you to help your kids or a neighbor of yours, that's spirituality. Spirituality cannot be defined in one way. Anything that elevates the consciousness is spirituality for me. That awareness, that consciousness, that awakening space, that's spirituality for me. And as you rightly said, can you exactly tell, you said that I'm not the same Preeti which I used to be. Can you exactly tell what changed? You can only say the external things. I'm not reacting in that way, which way I used to, right? But what has changed within you? Can you tell that? You can only show the external factors. You cannot relate that what has changed within you. But we are happy that these things are happening to you. At least, even if we don't create a heaven, we will not create a hell anymore around. That's spirituality. So Preetiji, if you have started walking, don't stop until you realize that part.
Yes.
And that day, when you reach that space, and I will be asking you, what changed? What is spirituality? You will only laugh. Because you see, you remember during Diwali, we create sugar sweets. One is made a horse, one is made a elephant, one is made a monkey, one is made a flower. Have you seen that?
Yes.
During
Batashe.
Diwali,
Yeah.
Batashe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, have you seen kids fighting for that? I need the horse, I need the elephant, I need the flower. But for the person who has made it, for him, all that is sweets, all that is sugar powder. I want you not to fight like that kid anymore in this world. I want to become the person who has created it. So the fight is over. There is no dilemma. There is no fight. There is no partiality. You say, "Arey, usko mujhe bada mil gaya, usko chota mil gaya." No. I think that's spirituality. And the definitions, obviously, Preetiji, will continue to move on, changing to another space. But don't stop if you have started. So, will you? Or you just need a definition of spirituality?
No. Now I'm quite
definition
clear.
of spirituality. Experience that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
being here.
Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Kirti, please unmute yourself.
Wow, Kirti has a question. I thought he has given up on asking questions.
Oh, no, Shravan, right.
Om Namah Shivaya. You look amazing, man.
Thank you, Manasai. Thank
I
you.
don't have enough left, or else I would have also done that.
Well, but before I get to Haribaba's stage, I thought I'll just make use of what I've got.
That is ultimate.
That is the ultimate destination anyway. Thank you for today's session, Manasbhai. I definitely, as you said, missed the sessions very much. Thank you for today. I did have a question, and it is maybe some sort of observation that I've seen in myself. You know, having inconsistently attended your sessions over the last few weeks, or it might have naturally sort of been something that has been on my mind over the last few months. And the question is about consistency. When I say consistency, I guess as normal human beings, we like to do certain things and we dislike to do certain things, but we still have to do these as part of our daily responsibilities or something we have to do in this world. But obviously, we tend to do the bare minimum of the things that we don't like and try to go well beyond what is needed from us on the things that we do like. My question was, how do we get to a stage where we are consistently delivering or consistently doing the things or giving our 100%? I'll give you a small example. I mean, it might be a certain responsibility as a father that I have to do, or something at work that I don't really enjoy, that I end up doing bare minimum of because maybe I can get away with it.
Okay.
Or something that I do like, I tend to go overboard on. As you mentioned the video earlier. So I was making myself accountable to get to a stage where I'm actually doing the same in every spec or every category of my life. How do we get there, and how could we possibly use spirituality to get there, is my question.
Obviously. Okay. Consistency. Huh? Why do you think you are not consistent?
Because I, even though I know I could have done more, I don't tend to do it. Yeah. Because I know I can get away with the bare minimum in certain parts of my life.
Yes. So as I said, you don't work. If you work, the consistency will matter. But if you make your work as a play, what is a play? You go to the gym, right? Okay. You go to the gym and the first day you don't pick up 100 pounds and just lift it up. So you start with 5, 10, 15, and you slowly keep on adding that. Is there a consistency in that, or you are growing consistently in that?
You're growing.
You're growing consistently in that. So in life, it's just like a gym. Do you go to the gym and you say, oh, I am so tired, that's why I'm going to gym? But if you go to the gym, it is more hard work than the work that you do in your office. Yes or no?
Yes.
Or let's take any game, other game that you might be playing. I have seen people when they come out of the office, they said, oh, I have a very tiring day today, and now what I will do is, let me go and play cricket or badminton or some game. Anyone does that? Now, can you see, you already said that in my office, I'm already drained out, I am tired, but now you're ready to play. From where did you got the energy? The secret here is, there you worked, here you want to play. If you change that my workplace is my playground, not my work ground. If you convert that today I have played this much, tomorrow I'm going to play better than this, then you will not be worried about your consistency. And that's what they all speak about in the corporate world. Na? Love your job. If you cannot love your job, then there are so many quotes out there. But here, the only way, you see, you can get a nirvana in life, but there is no workplace nirvana anywhere until you create one. Right? And there, what you have to do is, you find your own playground out there. We look at things. Let me tell you from my own experiences. When a target is given to us, always we know that in the corporate, a target will be such that you can never reach it. And if you reach it, we all know what happens. It becomes threefold. And we have HRs in the room also. I'm talking to them as well. So you see, exactly that what happens or not? It happens. But at the same time, In my life, what I do is, even whenever a target is given, I don't work to achieve the target. I work to hit it beyond. Because for me, the target is not my work, the target is my playground. I think like they have allowed me to grow a little bit higher this time. So whenever you are talking about this consistency part and how spirituality is going to help you with that part, very well, it is going to help you. Oh, Alivaji has grown back. So how is it going, spirituality help you? You all ask me a question. How are you able to manage your sleep with 3 hours? Because I have a secret. Shall I share it? See, you people sleep for 6 hours or 7 hours. Right? But if you go scientifically, the first 5 hours you dream. Only the last 2 hours you sleep. Yes or no? Just think of again. The entire 6 hours or 7 hours that you slept is not the exact sleep. You are roaming around. You are moving from one side of the bed to the other side. You are just rolling. You are seeing a dream. You are not sleeping. But in the last 2 hours, what happens? You see, in the night, you don't feel like sleepy, but in the morning, you don't feel like waking up. Yes or no? The same person, Santoshji, who was rotating from one side to the other side, neend nahi aa rahi. But in the early morning, you just pull over a curtain and again, and just, oh, one more bed sheet is required. And just pull over the quilt and you say, let me sleep. And that is the place where the bell rings. The problem is you are not sleeping for 5 hours. In the last 2 hours, you are trying to do that. I skip those 5 hours. So when you think like I'm not sleeping, I'm only sleeping for 3 hours, I'm actually sleeping for 8 hours, 1 hour more than you. But the only thing is I've cut down on those 5. You are adding those 5. Now, how did spirituality help that? Spirituality helped me skip those 5 hours. What happened with that? How many of you, when you have started doing any kind of meditation or chanting, you find clarity in your thoughts? You are not bundled up in simple things. Let's take the classic example of Haribhai. Kirti, as you know him personally, you know what kind of work he does. Then how is he able to find this time to be here always? And all the programs that we do, I don't have to do anything. Ujjwala ji, I just declare this has to be done. He said, okay, done. How he does, we don't know. But where did he get the time? And he was also asking me the same question. Ki bhai, even I don't know how am I creating all these things. How am I able to do all that things? When earlier, only to manage my office, I was having a lot of headache. I said, that's what spirituality does to you. It brings the clarity in your thoughts. It stops the clogging of the mind. You see, the earlier, a simple decision you have to take, it took you 2 hours. You are able to take it like this. What happened by taking that decision right away? You saved 2 hours. That's how spirituality helps you. It brings clarity in everything in your life. Earlier, out of fear, you were not taking action. What will happen? Then you did it today. Tomorrow morning you wake up and again you procrastinate. Why I did not do that yesterday? And in that procrastination, you lost another day. You became slogging in that. But in spirituality, you got the idea. Now I am waking up. If I have to do it, let me do it right away. Spirituality brings an urgency in your life. So one is clarity. Second is urgency. With the urgency, let's say you have to catch a flight to some other country and you will not be coming back to home for the next 6 to 8 months, let's say a year. And there are certain pending works in your home. And they have been pending for 6 months. I know you well. You will complete many of the tasks in 6 hours. that you have not done in the 6 months? Yes or no? Then how do you do that? That's urgency. It creates that urgency. What is the urgency here? That's why they say you have rarely found a life as a human. After traveling 84 lakh yoni, like after traveling 84 lakh kind of spaces, you have reached here. That creates a force in you. That's a, no, we have to be rushing towards it. That you should not be wasting this. That's what spirituality does that to you. And more than that, when we come to chantings of mantra or doing a certain kind of ritual, or doing a yagnam. What is a yagnam? You see, whenever we do any process, I make sure there is a havan kind of thing going in that. What's the reason? Let us understand it scientifically then. Ujjwalaji, we all know that we are made out of 5 elements. And these 5 elements again go back to the place from where it came from. What is the secret to happiness? Balance. And if I don't have the balance in these 5 elements, my life is disbalanced. What does the yagnam do? 5 elements. What are the 5 elements, Kirti?
Earth, water, wind, fire, and
Space.
Space, yes.
So these are the 5 things. Now look at all of you, look at around yourself. Which floor are you sitting? I am on the 5th. Which floor are you sitting?
I'm on the 4th.
4th. What about others? 2nd, 1st. Santoshji, 1st. Preetiji, 2nd. Saujanaji, 12th. She is more towards the heaven, not towards the earth. No problem. But can you see, you have disconnected somehow yourself from the earth element. You remember in your earlier days, we used to walk barefoot. When was the last time you did that? And somebody said so beautifully, Ujjwalaji, if you always continue to wear a leather shoe, the earth will feel like leather. Because we'll never know how it feels to walk on earth. So we have taken ourselves away from that earth element. Now look at the air. Everybody is air conditioned now. In life we have conditions, even air is also conditioned. We don't do anything without any condition. Now, even if you go for a sail, there is a small little star mark. What is that? Condition. So we are not doing anything unconditionally. We are doing everything out of a condition. Even if we fall in love with someone, it's a conditional. I want something, that's why I'm loving. No, that's not love. That's a conditional love. So what we are doing is we are away from the fire, the air element as well. How many of you really cook on a stove, gas, or we have all moved to induction and all those things? Fireless cooking, right? We have microwaves, we put the food there, we press 2-3 buttons and it cooks. Where is the touch of the mother in there? You all remember, can you tell me one thing? Who cooks the best in this world? Obviously your mother. You might taste anything outside in the world. It might be delicious, it might be pricey, but it will never compete with the food that your mother cooks. Agreed or not? So that element is also gone here. Means the human touch. Now you are cooking with the induction and all those things. So the fire element is also losing out. What is left? Space. We don't talk about space. We talk about square feet. I live in 1200 square feet. I live in 1400 square feet. I live in... No, nobody's living in space anymore, right, Santosh? We have already boxed ourselves. Our houses have become a box. And we come out of this box and sat in another box called as a car. Then we reach out to our office and get inside our cubicle. That's another box. And somebody in some movie, it showed it very well. You said, you should only be in a box when you are dead. But we are all boxed. So won't we feel like dead? That's why we are feeling like dead, because we have come out of that space. We don't have the connection with the earth. We don't go into fresh air. We don't have that space. We have disconnected from fire. What kind of water do you use? Mineral water, which is coming through several bends to your house. Water is a life force, right? And if you are on the 12th floor, like Saujanaji is, in order to reach it to the 12th floor, what kind of force should be applied to it? Obviously, force is required, right? Now just think of, you are a life-giving force to someone and you are forced. What will you do to them? Obviously, won't do something good enough. Whatever you are pressurized to do, Kirti, you feel like I stand by your side and push you, and now you do it. You feel good about that? You see, that element has also gone. That's why you have very simply understanding. Either you look at it from spiritual level or scientific level. This is what we have done. We have disconnected ourselves so much away from all these spaces. But when you do a homam, a small little home or a yagnam at your place, what do? See, yagnam is never done in a house. It's always done in an open place. But somehow we have even found out ways for that. We put exhaust fans. No, if you literally look at it, we have Subarna Rekhaji in the room, like who does the yagnas in her fields. That is so beautiful, because you are absolutely grounded on the earth element. Everything is built out of that earth element. So you are connecting to the earth. You are doing it in an open space. You are connected to space element. And without the proper air, the fire will not burn. So the air element is also consumed into that. And then what next happens is the water is used before the purification of the place is done through water. The water element comes into play. And obviously you lit the fire. What happens? You are bringing all that 5 elements in a prescribed way, because that prescription brings balance in your life. And when you do that kind of homam or yagnam, you feel good, because all those 5 elements that you have distanced yourself from are coming back. And what is the reason for burning the ghee and all those stuff that you burn? It's very simple. Fire has a very amazing impact. It magnifies everything. Although it consumes it, it magnifies it at the same time. Let's say, Ujjwalaji, you are burning something in your house and you put a red chili into fire. Won't your neighbors also know that? That's what it does. A simple little chili, if put into the fire, it expands it so much that everyone around it feels that. If it does that to chili, won't it do the same impact to ghee and other good things that you put? Those were the things that we put into the havan were actually medicinal plants. Everything is prescribed. What kind of wood should be used? What kind of ingredient should be used? Why? Because it has a magnifying effect. So when you put that there, it not only purifies your place, it also helps others. And that's how spirituality helps you. What did Jesus say? Charity starts at home. Treat others as you want others to treat you. What is yagna? You are doing the good thing for your own self, and at the same time, you also want other people to have that kind of good vibes, so that the good vibes again come back to you. Tell me, spirituality helps or not? So, rituals, and then talking about mantras. Everything is a vibration. Today, you are vibrating at a low level, so you feel insecure. You feel depressed. But just think of when a day you are there and you are bubbling with happiness. What is that? That's another kind of vibration. That means a vibration is also changing your emotional patterns. And if you can jump into a right kind of, how many times it has happened to you, Kirti, like when you are not feeling well, but immediately you put on uplifting music, you put it in your ears and you start feeling good.
Yes.
It works as a therapy, right? So what is that? That means you are vibrating at a certain level, that vibration is taken to another level, which is helping you to come out of that space. What is a mantra? Mantra is of a highest frequency. Every single mantra, if you can connote it, means the way it has to be chanted. If you find the right kind of mantra that is required, why different mantras? Because you go through different kind of things in your life. That kind of mantra is like that music therapy that you put in, and that vibration puts you into another realm where you are no more in the depressive state. You find your way out. Spirituality helps. So in anything that you talk, I can prove it scientifically, why this has been prescribed to you. So here, Kirti, when you asked, can it help you to consistently do your work? Absolutely, it will. You do one thing every single day. Don't do anything. Just sit down for a moment and just for 10 to 15 minutes, meditate. And I didn't said sit and imagine. I said meditate. And meditation, you cannot do it. It will happen to you. And if it happens for just a moment also, it is enough. And then you see how amazingly you outperform yourself every single day. You amaze yourself every single day, actually. So consistency, of course, it will help you. And more than that, the highest of all of it, you feel the presence of divinity by your side. And when you feel that power all around you, you are dipped into that. You are surrounded that kind of divinity all around. How do you feel?
You feel amazing, yeah.
You feel amazing. You feel secured. You feel like nothing can stop you. You become invincible. Have you heard of Chakravarti Samrat or not? What is Chakravarti Samrat? That was the same thing. Through spiritual processes, they used to go through certain things. And then they conquer it. And they become Chakravarti. So that's how all the spiritual processes, whatever are being done, whatever are being asked you to do, the only thing you have to do is just do it and you see the results. And then when you are experiencing that in your life, you don't have questions for that. Rather, you start prescribing that to others. Of course, spirituality helps. At least you are smiling. For me, that's
definitely.
Now tell me, can you be consistent in your work or not?
I think definitely where I was previously, I'm much more consistent than before. I think my energy levels, my emotions are a lot more stable, I have got really high energy levels. I guess my question was aimed at how do I take it to the next level? And
Absolutely.
I think
you remember that
answered
small little kid, na, who started just because he wanted to win. You start so that you have consistency in your workplace. And soon enough, you will find that you surpassed it and you never knew how it happened. So go on. And we are all there.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I just had one clarification. You spoke about mantras, and I have, for one, really enjoyed chanting mantras for a long time. But obviously, the prescription of what mantras to do and not to do, I've obviously, since you came into my life, it's been very good in that aspect. One of the recent mantras I've really enjoyed is the Kunjika Stotram, but we've only done it for a short period of time. Is it okay if I continue doing that on a daily basis?
So, Siddha Kunjika mantra,
Yes, that's right.
You want to continue with that?
Yes, please.
Really?
I mean, I've really enjoyed doing it, and I wasn't sure if I should continue or not.
Absolutely, Kirti. You continue this for some more days then, because Siddhakunjika mantra is not one mantra; it is an amalgamation of mantras. Have you ever come across any mantra with such kind of words in that?
No, I haven't.
It's like, as Revati ji is saying, it's beautiful, like the way it is, and the way when you sit and chant that, you feel that vibrations happening within you.
Yes.
Go ahead, do it for some more time.
Okay. Thank you, Manas bhai. I will do.
And for the other people, we will be starting one, especially the people, those who have not started any chantings. For them, we will start something. Ujjwala ji, see, everybody is speaking about, oh, great restaurant, food is amazing, amazing, amazing. You have to go there and eat it, then only you will find it, right? Okay, so let me unmute you.
Yeah. Ujjwala ji, please unmute.
Yeah, sorry. That was my question actually. That was we are talking about, okay, this is good, that is good. That's what I was thinking. Sorry. You just answered my question actually. I was just asking what could be, because whenever we say, like me, like I'm just talking about myself.
Yeah.
I can't do meditation for a long time. I can't even say mantras.
So you have another genre altogether.
Exactly. So it's a different. So I was thinking, okay, how can we, like, I think I know in the world that like few people out there, they haven't reached it.
Yeah.
They haven't, like,
Absolutely.
it's not been that.
So
okay,
for them,
so it's no point. Exactly. And some people out there were actually kind of like, oh, sorry, come on. I lost you. Oh,
yeah, please.
Okay. Sorry. So, yeah. So some people out there who are actually trying to kind of like going there, and some, like, they understand completely, like, it doesn't affect them where it is. That's it. But they don't know after that, like, say, what you need to, like, say, for me, I don't have, when you say the urgency, I think that's what matters as well. What is the urgency for you? What your immediate thing? But like, I don't have any, like, for me, I don't have anything. I don't have like kind of like urgency now, but I want to. I'm wishing to kind of get that, not just to attain something or to get something, just for myself as a person.
Of course.
So that's what I was thinking. What I can't meditate, like, if you say me, like, I can't, I'm trying now, but I just sit because I just wanted to sit down. It doesn't really matter whether it works for me or not, but I'm trying to. I said no. But that consistency, if you give me 1-2 lines, do that one, that will work.
Done.
To attain.
And we will give you the most proven one.
Yeah, I think so.
Now just tell me, I'll tell you one simple thing. It is so proven. Ujjwala ji, we all know the medicine of the home doesn't work at home.
Yeah.
But it has been so well proven that my wife believes in it.
That's good.
That means it's working. So
yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. Give us something. Okay, fine. You just do this thing and then just go on, like, experiment with that. That was what I was about to ask, but you already said to me.
So
like,
let me check
before
that,
even me asking.
how is it working next Sunday? And if it is, the time is right, we will do it next Sunday itself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay. And of course, for your small little daughters around there, there is a very simple thing that they can also chant, and you will see the results, amazing results in them. Very simple, one single letter. Yeah. If you can just tell them to recite that as a poem, as a poetry, or just running here and there, just doing that.
Yeah. I think before even telling kids, I won't do myself, like, because they see me, then they will learn. I can't just tell them do it.
No. The prescription for you is different, for them is different.
Yes,
but yes,
exactly.
Of course, we will introduce you to one mantra that is going to be with you forever, throughout the lifetime, and you will feel its presence around you. And I believe that will create that kind of faith within you that it works. And all the other people in this room, they're smiling because they know what I'm talking about and what they have gone through. They were also sitting there with you, just as you were sitting, and said, I'm not experiencing anything. I said, really? Okay. Well, let's begin with something then. And
Thank you.
the miraculous things that it has done in their lives. But one thing will happen, Ujjwala ji. One more family member will be added to your home. Is it okay? You have enough space for another kid to roam around? Done.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a
No
demanding
problem
kid,
at all.
obviously, but a good one. All the kids you take care, that kid takes care of you. So next week. So come prepared to adopt a child, a divine one. Okay, Santosh ji? Everyone, especially the UK group, should start doing it because all the Indian group have already done it. And the results, you will speak of that. I will not speak about the results.
Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
So thank you, Ujjwala ji. So we have heard what you said. So might be a week's time more. And don't worry, we have enough processes where we will hit you somewhere. I don't worry whether the wall break with a first hit or not. I know someday it will. So I keep on hitting it. Some strong walls are there now. But I have enough machinery with me, I can tell that. And everyone will fall. And in your falling, you will find yourself. This is what happens. In your losing, you win. In India, Ujjwala ji, जीतने वाले को भी हार पहनाया जाता है ना. That garland is called as har. Means even if you win, you have to go along with that. So that's the beauty of it. In your losing, you find it. In a drop losing its own identity, it became the ocean. That's what will happen. And all that life that you lived is another way of life. This is another way of life. And you cannot compare, as Preeti ji was saying, I don't know what happened, but I'm not that. So let's see next week. Good that even I was actually thinking of bringing that. But now I believe you people are ready, because when you ask means somebody has already spoken to you. Because I think in this way, Ujjwala ji, before I think about Shiva, and if I started thinking about Shiva, that means he has already started thinking about me. So if you are asking for a mantra, that means the mantra has already found its way to you. So just be ready. Okay. Thank you so much. Sumaji. Oh, so some tough questions, I believe. Huh?
Sumaji, check your mic now. You're not able to hear. No, you're not able to
allow
hear.
you cannot.
It's got unmuted, but somewhere we are not able to hear you. Are you using any mic? Try to get one now, because I think your mic is not working. Or if you want, you can log in with another phone. Yeah.
So our people are sitting with 3-4 other devices also. If one doesn't work, pull out the other one. So she has logged in another one, I believe. Like just search. Raise your hand in that also.
Yeah. Yeah, you can unmute Sumagaru. Yeah.
Okay. So, Namdeva, it's not a question, as Ujjwala ji was asking about the. Anna, please highlight Mahadev, not me, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, as she was asking, I just remembered today morning, mom shared one thing with me. So, I just wanted to share that. because she was asking about the mantra, right? Batuk means batuk. I just wanted to quickly share one incident which happened. I think maybe yesterday, I guess. Usually mom wakes up around 5 or 5:15. And now she is in Hyderabad with my sisters, in my sister's home, and they stay in the 5th floor. So in the next building, my brother-in-law's brother stays. So the co-sisters stay in the next buildings actually, and they are also in the 5th floor. So yesterday, my sister's co-sister, she called her and she asked. It seems like around 5:15, in that room where my mom stays, the light was switched on, and I see a small boy. Who is that boy? Then she asked, and then because they don't have any boys at home, like small boys especially, they don't have. And her son is very big, and he's in US. Like nobody's there in the younger small kids in the house. And then my sister came to my mom immediately and asked, "Are you doing Batuk Bhairava month?" And then she said, "Yes, I am doing." And then she told, like, see, she's asking like this. And then I said, yeah, even though we are not able to see, but he appeared to them. They were able to see, like, it's a good thing, like others are seeing him. And she was very happy because she was thinking actually the first round she completed, and then the second round you added that another word na deva for the Batuk Bhairava mantra. Actually, mom forgot that, it seems, and initially she started with that and she forgot, and she was doing the first mantra. And then she was thinking, am I doing anything? And suddenly she realized, like 2 days back, she realized that she was reciting it, the first one, not the second one. And she was thinking, am I doing a wrong thing? Am I doing wrong thing by doing this, like this, karke? And then immediately the next day morning, they got a call and they said, like, we are seeing a small boy in your house. Who is that boy? And around 5:15, I am seeing him awake. And
now,
then,
Ujjwala, did you realize what I said? That's what I said. Do you have enough space for another kid to accommodate around?
yeah.
It is so precise that your experiences will speak of that. And of course, now just think of if they didn't knew that there was something called as Batuk Bhairav, they would have thought a ghost is roaming now.
And
Now
my
the
sister
same-
don't recite it there. Actually, my sister don't recite it daily, and only mom does, because now she is there. She's reciting it there.
Now
And she
tell her,
Shivratri only,
if
not
you
like.
want to have a copy of that fellow in your house, start chanting. It is absolutely magical. Things, Ujjwala ji, what you speak of as miracles, it happens with that one single mantra itself. We have all the people in the room and everyone has something to say about it. Every single person. So be ready. He is coming to your home as well. Now somebody says, oh, another kid in your house. Where is it coming from? Amazing. So thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sumaji, and thank your mom. She is calling her so well that it has to come in appear for others also. You see, in your calling, आप दूसरों का भी कल्याण कर दे रहे हो. That's amazing. So we are on time. I believe, almost there. So good. So we traveled all across, from spirituality to science, to official problems, to HR issues, to life struggles, to realization, to stories. We are an amazing group of mad people. Who else can cover all these things in this 2 hours time? But thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And not only listening, bringing that things into your life, accepting those things into your life. Because all our trying in doing is, you should be a little bit happier person around. And especially if you are happier around, all the surrounding will also be happier. If all the surrounding is happier, the other surroundings will also be happier. So that happiness, that seed of happiness is sown within you all. All that you have to do is allow that seed to grow. Allow yourself to bloom. Allow yourself to spread across, and then you will feel so amazing while doing that. I just want all of you to just be like this fellow sitting here, and just think of you listening to me so well and then expressing itself how is it would be. It's like I have everything. You should have everything. And then a day will be there. We will not be requiring any more talks. We'll just be sitting in silence, looking at each other, laughing, and just say, what drama. That day will be a day when I look forward to. No, there will not a person who will be listening. There will not be a person who will be talking. You all become one in that space. Unbottling of that water, pouring it back into the ocean, unpacking you, making you divine again. Human, you are here by force. Divinity is a choice for you. So choose divinity. If you want, you should want the ultimate. If you should ask the ultimate. If you should become, you should become the ultimate. And we will do it with so much of playfulness. You remember, Karthi? It's not work. If I look at it, oh my God, subah ek session, afternoon mein ek session, evening mein aur ek session, how am I going to do that? Do you know what will happen to me? My blood pressure will go up. That's it. But it is not that. It's all playfulness. And you see, in this playfulness, we are all happy. We are all feeling that space. We are all in that zone. This is playfulness. And that's why people, Rashmi ji, log kya kehte? You talk like Shiva, but act like Krishna. I said, yes. What's the problem in that? Why can't I be both? See, if you have a small little temple, you have one God in that temple. But your temple is big, all gods are here. My temple is a big temple. Go live your life. Not like a human anymore. As if the divinity has come down, incarnated through you on this planet to make its own creation beautiful. Through you, as you. Thank you so much. Aham Brahmasmi. May you have a beautiful day ahead. Ensure it is. Thank you so much. See you again, but next time we'll take up the mantra as well. Thank you so much.